Mm. Now it's
Okay, great. So, Sophia,
good. We made it.
we made it. Thank you so much for being willing to come on my podcast.
Mm.
I um, I remember I saw your Instagram page a year ago or so, and you had very beautiful imagery, and you really like showed, I guess, a part of yourself, like your personality was really shown there, like really feminine, a lot of colors. It was very, very nice. And you also had a lot of explanation. You had this very warm, caring, inviting atmosphere that I felt. So I remember I enjoyed a couple of sessions of yours. I really loved your taste in music. It was really nice. And yeah, you're a facilitator of Kundalini.
Mhm.
So I, because I'm also a facilitator and I'm in this kind of work field, I felt that I wanted to talk to you, to share about you, about your journey. So welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Very happy to be here. Really.
Mm.
Thank you.
So can you like introduce yourself? Like, where do you come from? How do you get to where you are right now?
Yeah. Okay. So my name is Sofia. And yeah, as you said, I'm Kundalini energy facilitator. I also do Kundalini Bodywork, which is a different practice when we work with the body. And where do I come from? So I was not into spirituality or energy work at all when we look back, like even 4 years ago. I actually had like a master degree in business law. I was doing marketing. I had a clothing brand, and I would have never imagined I would be here today, to be honest, because I was quite judgmental back then about all the spiritual community, all the people working with energy. It was very not accessible to me. I was not relating. And my journey started when I was in Bali.
Mm.
So I did 3 years in Bali. It was like, yeah, 5 years ago when I arrived
Mm.
in Bali. And I was back then doing my clothing brand, and I was living with this friend called Samantha, and she's a breathwork coach. And I remember she told me, okay, Sophia, can you come with me to a session of CAP? I didn't even know what it was. I was like, yeah, whatever. I didn't even check what was the session about. And I think, the person I did the session with, it was Marieke, right? You
Mhm, mhm.
did
I
an
think
interview
that.
with you, yeah.
Yeah, I did.
And so this day happened, this day arrives, and I'm with Samantha. I arrive in the room, and I'm surrounded by a lot of back then what I called hippie people. Like I don't even know why I'm here. I'm like, I don't belong here. That's very weird. And the session starts, and I think, to be honest, when I'm like, sometimes I'm being quite cautious using this word, but I really had a Kundalini awakening this day.
Mm.
So I went from all the stages and everything you can imagine you can have in a session. I had them, and I went from believing to nothing to basically believing to everything, to God,
Mm.
angels, to source energy, to everything. My entire reality changed in an hour. And it
Wow.
was very, very intense. And to me, it was making no sense because, yeah, the session moved me a lot, both physically and spiritually, and in terms of I was canalizing mudra. And back then I didn't even know what mudra was. Like I've never done before. I never did yoga before. So I was here doing these hand movements and talking languages I didn't know and having visions and connecting to angels. My body was shaking. So this is how my journey started. And I had this very inner knowing since day one that my life was changing forever. And I will be doing this work in serving, not because I wanted to, but because it was here already since many lifetimes actually. And
Mm-hmm.
it was just the little button that activated all. So yeah, and after that, I had 4 or 5 days where I was alone at home. I couldn't function. My senses were very heightened, so even a simple noise it was too intense. In Bali, there is a lot of construction.
Mm.
And I remember that the noise of like to like, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
you know
Mm-hmm.
what I mean. I don't know the
Mm-hmm.
name in English. Um, Even that it's super painful. Like it wasn't almost impossible to handle. I needed to cover my ears. I had my spine completely burning at night. I remember my partner, he was getting out of the bed because it was super hot.
Mm.
My spine was like literally burning the bed. I was waking up in the middle of the night to write light language. So this was the 4 days after this session.
Wow.
And Marieke was actually very present. I'm very grateful for that. She really helped me. And yeah, after that, I became a spontaneous channel of the energy. And Marieke, of course, told me you have to to control it because I was activating people around me without and I didn't want to. So it was happening with my roommate in a cacao ceremony. People were like feeling weird, and because I was just, it was, yeah, the buzz was too big. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, then after that, I did several trainings with the sisters, with Elliot. Maybe we're going to talk more about this later. And
Mm.
uh, here I am, 3 years later,
Wow.
doing this as, yeah, my life mission to serve.
Mm. Thank you for sharing. Can I ask you, you said before you were into this, you had like a certain kind of opinion, or you saw spiritual people as something like, spiritual people. Why do you think you had that kind of point of view?
Mm, so it was not even in my reality when I was in Paris because I was working in startups and wellness and well-being was more about what you're going to eat, right? Like you try to eat organic and healthy, and that's it. But when I arrived in Bali, Bali, there is all the people from Ubud, and you have the party people, let's say in Canggu, to like make it very, how do we say, caricatural.
Hmm.
The people in Ubud were the first people that I was putting in the category of spiritual people. And back then, I think I was not able to relate to any of them.
Hmm.
I
Hmm.
was just feeling that they were living in another planet.
Hmm.
I felt like almost intimidated by them. Like I couldn't even have a conversation with these people. So I think everything was part of it. The
Hmm.
way they talked, the way they stay also in tribe, and people in Ubud, they are very loving each other, caring, very, very touchy. And I was much more like, no, don't
Hmm.
touch me.
Yeah.
So it was also for like something that I was not resonating with. I'm Moroccan also, so for example, being almost naked and stuff, it was no for me. The way they was talking, I didn't understand what they were saying. Everything, the looks as well, physical looks,
Yeah.
clothes, hair, tattoos, everything. I would say
Mm.
everything was just not resonating with me in a sense that I couldn't resonate with any person. I couldn't belong to this group. I
Yeah.
was feel that I was not fitting. And
Hmm.
actually, even today, sometimes I feel like I still don't speak the same language as some people that I meet that are very, let's say, awakened or they live in their reality, and I feel it's very different from mine. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Hmm. It's interesting that the first session that you had then with Marika, it was
Yeah.
almost like an experience which then opened up the way for you to relate to all these things. It's through
Mm,
experience.
yeah.
So if you didn't have that experience, you would probably not be able to
I don't know, you know. I feel like it's always have been here.
Uh-huh.
It needed a way to for me to connect because I always felt quite empty before that. I
Mm-hmm.
was trying to do my clothing brand and I was trying to find a way to connect with people, with humans. And I felt I've always been very sensitive. When I was a kid, I was more at ease with animals and with horses than with humans. So I felt like I was an empath since I was very young, and I felt like I was not depressed, but I was just not finding a way to be happy in this world.
Mm-hmm.
And either way, I think I would have connect with this part of me. So let's say if it was not a session, it would have probably be something else because I think that my soul wants that for this life for me. I
Yeah.
was supposed to get there,
Yeah.
but definitely the session was the starting point, the trigger.
Mm.
And but yeah, I can't believe that it wouldn't have happened in another way.
Mm.
Because otherwise it means that I would have been sleeping all my life, let's
Yeah,
say.
yeah, yeah. Beautiful. You said you're cautious with using the worm like Kundalini awakening. What do you mean by that? What is a true Kundalini awakening?
That's the thing. You know, the more I work with energy and the more I talk to people, the more I see more and more facilitators, the more I feel like there are words that are coming from a very ancient knowledge,
Mm.
but at the end of the day, it just helps us to put this in a box, but we don't know.
Mm.
So that's the thing. And I truly respect also people that are having very deep spiritual awakening thanks to a lifelong practice of yoga, let's say,
Mhm.
and having an holistic lifestyle and serving and praying and being
Mm.
good, doing good, and meditating a lot. And I feel like I'm not going to say that their awakening is more significant than the one we can have with energy work as a shortcut, let's
Mhm.
say.
Mhm.
But I think that word needs to be used with caution. Caution, this is how we say it
Mhm.
in English, yeah.
Mhm. Mhm.
Because I just feel like we don't really know. I
Mhm.
know that we are working with energy. I know that we are connecting with divinity, that's for sure. I know
Mhm.
that it's helping people and uh, also a lot of their own lifestyle and karma is involved in how they're going to experience the energy work. But to me, there is a lot of mystery around Kundalini.
Mhm.
And I feel like today no one is God and no one can have an ultimate truth about what it is and what it's not.
Mhm.
And I feel that this word, in terms of energy, has a lot of conflict in it.
Mhm.
A lot of, yeah, people are not happy about it used easily, like, oh, I had a Kundalini awakening after a session because I just received a message from my angel, for example. And then you're going to have this guru who's doing this for years, who's going to be mad at it. So I just feel like the energy of this word is complicated.
Yeah.
And I don't feel like we really know at the end. So that's why I
Mhm.
want us to use with caution. I'm doing for myself. I don't care for the others, to be honest.
Mhm.
But to me, to stay true to me, I will now more use life force energy with eventually a Kundalini awakening or a Kundalini energy flow that may happen. And
Mhm.
to me, it's what happened to me. But again, I have no ultimate truth. Maybe this truth will change in 10 years when I'm going to have an experience that's even stronger and I'm going to say, "Oh no, this is a Kundalini awakening," or this is so that's why I'm saying we never know.
Mm. So if I ask you now, like for you at this moment in this time, what is a Kundalini awakening?
Hmm. So to me, we can really talk about a Kundalini awakening when we are completely receiving divine guidance and divine information and truly embodying ourselves here on earth.
Mm,
So this is not, for example, in sessions when you have emotional release or crying and the energy running, to me, this is not, we're not in the Kundalini realm. To me, it's really when we have this divine connection and we are also able to vibrate on love and vibrate on unconditional love no matter what.
mm.
So we can really talk about that when it's fully integrated and embodied as well. And
Okay.
I feel like very few people are here
Mm,
all the time. We are still working on ourselves. And I think that we have sometimes a glimpse, a connection with this energy.
mm,
Like we can feel it, we connect to it, but it's not active all the time. We are not embodying all the time this
mm,
Kundalini flow. It
mm,
can happen, but we are still here in the matter and we are still working on ourselves. So yeah, I hope it's
mhm,
you my
mhm,
perspective on it.
mhm. Thank you for sharing your perspective. Thank you. Hmm. What has been like the most surprising thing or event in your journey?
Hmm. Surprising.
Mhm.
So right now I just think about one thing. Uh, when I was in my training with Elliot
Mhm.
in the level two, level one, I don't even remember. I mean, no, level one. Um, I literally stored in my body a trauma that wasn't mine, probably coming from the room, from someone. Yeah, that was kind of surprising. Oh, I need to close the door.
Yeah, go ahead, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm back. So yeah, I
Mhm.
was saying a trauma that was not mine, and I remember that Elliot held space for me and told me, okay, you're gonna have to be very uh courageous
Mm,
because there is a heavy thing. It's not yours. And maybe it was also from ancestors or past lives, I don't know. But I was going to take care of it in this body right now.
mm.
It was wild. Like my consciousness was trying to escape my body to not leave it.
Wow.
And he was forcing me to open my eyes so I stay present and I don't go up so I don't have to deal with it in the body.
Mhm.
And it was the most crazy and painful experience of my life. And
Mm,
when it was done, I was not able to connect it to any experience or anything. It was empty. It was just like it's gone. But I didn't have it. I was very confused. So this was the most surprising stuff. Like I literally experienced kind of a it was not an exorcism because it was not an entity in me that was getting out, but it was a trauma, a
mhm,
very deep one that I felt physically removed from my back, that I was not connecting to anything. And at this point, it was the moment I realized that, okay, everything is so fucked up. I just don't know, and I will never know what's happening in this world, in this reality, but things like this happened. And
mm,
yeah, I was very shocked actually.
mm,
Even 1 week, 2 weeks after, I remember I was, what was that? Because really it was very, very painful. It was physically painful. My soul wanted to escape. It was very special, a very special moment,
mm.
surprising moment.
Do you know why things like this can happen?
I think if now I am like seeing from a higher
Mhm,
perspective, I think that probably it's because I was to either open to someone else without being protecting myself enough, because I know that, as I said, I'm an empath. I love people, and sometimes for their own healing and their own experience, I'm gonna go fully in without keeping my distance or without creating this shield so I can protect myself. And back then, so it was a year and a half ago, of course, I just was so focused on serving that I was not being enough in my own body, in my own security, by protecting myself and by being aware, of these currents that can come. And otherwise, let's say if it was from previous lives or my ancestors, then there is nothing I can do about it. So I don't know. But of course, if it was not from me or from my lineage, definitely I was not protecting myself enough. Protection is real. Like really, it's real. Me, at least.
I wonder, have you ever been to other energy sessions or breathwork sessions, and when somebody has a release that you witnessed, that somebody else took over that energy or that trauma that was released?
Hmm. So that's the thing. I don't know if people are resonating with the frequency of this type of release. So let's say someone is crying and the frequency of the sadness of the crying is going to make someone else cry.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So this is to me very different than taking in someone else
Yeah,
literally trauma or
yeah,
energy. And this, I think I didn't witness it,
no.
honestly. I don't feel I witnessed someone taking in the, let's say, not the bad energy, because there is no such things, but literally an energy that is not belonging to this person. I don't think I've witnessed that.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Because it's it's a big thing, huh? If you really take into your system someone else like trauma or whatever, I think it's very heavy to process, but I don't think I've witnessed that. No. But I definitely witnessed people feeling someone else's energy and being able to relate to things that was happening to the person, and person having the same type of experience
Yeah.
and felt connected. This, yes. So they vibrate together.
Thank you. You said there is no bad energy. How do you mean?
It's just energy. The word bad to me is our own belief or creation of that specific energy, but everything can be transmuted and transformed. So to me, there is no such thing as bad, because you can always change the vibration of basically everything. This is my perspective of reality. So the bad can be turned to good, right? So
So, so I'm gonna ask you something. Recently, you made a post, a reel.
I
It's gotten a lot of views.
getting there.
Would you say that mm, the comments that you were getting on the reel could be considered bad energy or bad vibes or bad things?
So yeah, this reel has been intense, but I think I really needed that in my life to be able to not fear it anymore, because it was a fear I had, to like having my work really exposed and getting a lot of, we told about this before, we talked about this hate. But yeah, no, there is no bad energy. There is just people expressing about what triggered them.
Mm,
And all these people are literally finding a way through these posts
mhm,
to express an emotion, something that has been triggering them. But I don't even think that when they write it, it's they want to do bad or they are targeting me or whatever. It's just a way for them to discharge an energy that's happening in them.
Yeah.
So I think for this type of comments, it's actually important to not delete it, to not delete them. At first,
Mm-hmm.
I was like, oh, am I going to protect myself and delete all and just mute all the comments? And I was like, no, there is no point doing this. First, because it means that I am not um, honoring my own work and the work of the people that do the same as me,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
as like, oh, I'm afraid of this comment and I don't believe enough in what I do to just let be what needs to be in this post. And also because I really, really do believe that these people, if they were in the room with me right now and we had a conversation, they would be lovely.
Mm-hmm.
I
Fair
truly
enough.
believe that.
So when you read the comments and you
Mhm.
see things that may seem mean or attacking you or creating a certain image about how you are, how do
Mhm.
you transmute that if it's not necessarily pleasant or nice?
Mm. So I talked a lot with people I love. I talked a lot with my partner, with friends, and I'm getting, I think, getting a lot of perspective and realities make me again realize how many different realities we are living in. And this is basically how I did because I didn't felt any energetic nods that has been created with the comments at all. I was just like confused at one point, like, whoa, that's a lot.
Mm,
And so I think I was not understanding why, the
yeah,
why. I was just, it's just a girl screaming and me doing energy work. How this can be so triggering for people. So I was more not understanding, and the more I was talking to friends and people I actually valued, yeah, the way they think, let's
mhm,
say,
mhm,
the easier it was for me to actually process all that and being able to get a lot of different perspective about it. So yeah,
yeah.
this is how I did.
Okay.
Talking. I'm someone who needs to talk a lot to exchange.
Did you at any point felt like you did something wrong or ashamed?
No,
No. Okay.
no, not at all, because that's something that actually shared in my stories. I've already do a lot of work about shame and doing wrong with my own family because I'm half Moroccan, I'm half French, and for my Moroccan family, what I do is considered as bad or as a sin. So I've worked a lot about this already. So
Mm,
I don't
mm,
feel that anymore, especially with strangers. Um, yeah, because it was a big work I did with my own family, basically.
mm. What is the root of shame, do you think, from your perspective?
Hmm. To me, I think it's the lack of both self-love and confidence,
Mm,
to me.
mm.
Yeah.
Okay. So, do you believe in magic?
Yes, I do. Everything is magical. I mean, yeah, I do believe in magic. As to me, let's say, I think it's important to define magic, right?
Mhm, mhm, mhm.
But to you, what is magic?
So, when you grow up and you live life, you go to school, you go to work, you have normal conversations, and then you become aware of other ways of being, other ways of relating, other ways of living life.
Mhm.
You feel that it's possible to, in a not explainable way or not in a way you were thought, but you feel that everything is just like almost like divinely orchestrated. The meetings between people, the experiences you have when you when you choose to be in a certain way, how you go from doing and trying to be and trying to do to just being. When that shift happens, you really start to experience like these unexplainable events in your life, for me, and it feels magical, even though it's not really magic. It's just a different way of vibrating, I guess, or expressing what you are, but it feels like magic for sure.
Okay, so then we are on the same page about what is magic. And it's exactly the same for me. I really completely resonate with that. It's everything is magical around us. The moment we start to be able to activate this magic within us
Mm,
and with the others, as you said, in terms of vibration.
mm,
When you enter is this new phase when you are able to manifest quicker, and life, as you said, just orchestrates in a divine way. There is no effort.
mhm, mhm.
And this is to me very magical because you like think of something and it happens the day after. Or
Mhm,
you literally think to someone, it happens to me, like I was dreaming about someone and I woke up and I was like, oh, I'm gonna get a message of this person for sure. And like literally 5 minutes after, I received a message from this person and I didn't hear about this person for months. And
mm,
this can be what we consider as magical, but also when your intuition is, you're so connected to your intuition that you feel things
mhm.
when before they happen.
Yeah,
It's kind of magical, but
yeah.
it's not. It's just magic is always here. It has always been here. So yeah,
Mhm,
I do believe in magic. And I also believe that the vibration you put in things, or for example, in objects, in drinks, in words, in everything you're gonna do, the more you kind of make everything sacred, the more the magic can actually happen
mm,
because you are shifting the vibration and already imprinting a certain vibration in your life.
yeah,
So everything is just going to be more magical.
yeah.
Yeah, I do believe in that.
When did you start to believe? Like something happened, or was it like your first session?
Mm. So after the first session, I was forced to believe.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So I had so my mom is Moroccan. So all this family I have from my mom, they're Muslim. My dad is French, but let's say the strongest culture I had growing up was the Moroccan one.
Yeah. Mhm,
And in Morocco, there is a lot of belief, okay, of uh, magic, good magic, especially dark magic, of jinn, so like bad spirits and stuff. So I've always been raised with this idea that it was existing, for example, but I was just not buying it because I didn't experience it.
mhm,
For me, it was more like, yeah, my crazy family. I love them, but they're like, I don't know. But there was still in my head a part of, but what if? What if there is something more? And I felt that there was something more than just my brain and my body, let's say, but I didn't experience it before. And so the day I had the session was actually the day I had the confirmation
yeah,
that there was much more.
yeah.
And then starting this day, everything changed. Like
Mm,
literally everything changed.
mm.
So I was meditate. I never meditate before, and from one day to another, I had the urge to meditate every day. I remember smoking and drinking. I mean, social smoking, and from one day to another, I was disgusted by cigarettes. Like really, it was just like, oh, I wanted to vomit. So that was very weird because I was trying to quit the social smoking for years and I wasn't able to. So things like this were happening, and I was not able to explain it the way I was eating as well. I
Mm,
I wasn't able to eat the same food. Uh, Everything was shifting, and I couldn't ignore it.
yeah.
Same with the writing. I was canalizing language I've never seen before, mudras, whatever, and this. it's not something you can explain. So I was forced to believe in all that because it was just happening. I was starting to embody all this.
Yeah.
So
Mm.
yeah, and the visions as well, like visions of past lives, of things very specific. It was not dreams, like I knew it. So that was very, very weird back then.
I wonder, how do you share these experiences with your family?
Mm. So again, I think it's important to share with the right words
Hmm.
because if we look back, if we look back 5 years ago, uh, I the previous version of me, I think would have been able to understand
Hmm.
if it was exposed in a certain way or with certain words or in a way that was matching, like I
Hmm.
am talking a language that you're going to understand.
Yeah. Yeah.
So to me, it's not necessarily about the what I'm explaining or what I'm sharing, it's about the how I'm doing it.
Mm.
So the words matter a lot with my family. For example, I'm not going to use words such as dark spirits or this kind of stuff. I'm going to use heavy energy instead. Or I'm going to use instead of, oh, I'm connecting to angels. I'm going to use, okay, I had this moment where I felt kind of a angel energy that I
Hmm.
was able to receive. So I'm
Hmm.
very more like not cautious, but I'm going to try to make sure that they can understand what I say. And when I do that, they are actually able to relate because they are not thinking I'm crazy
Hmm.
because I'm going to talk with them like with words that they cannot understand, they cannot
Yeah.
relate.
Yeah. Wow.
So yeah, it's more about the how. And actually, um, it's not just with my family. A lot of people that come to my sessions, a lot of them are newbies, like really people that never experienced energy work before, and they feel safe. They're like, "Oh, you don't look like a crazy spiritual person," you know? So I
Yeah.
have a lot of people, I think, that are able to think again. It's just glasses they wear, like the reality they see in
Yeah.
their reality. They're like, oh, this girl seems to be normal.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Mm. Thank you. Very interesting. How do you teach? Like, what do you wish to share with the world?
Hmm. Very simple. Vibrate on love, connect with love, and be kind, and just
Mm.
yeah. This is like the utopic version of it, but I really want people to be able to see a version of themselves where they can be happy.
Mm.
And with the work I do, I'm really trying to, the message I give is like, I really want them to believe that they can be happy, that there is a way they can actually be happy and loving and get rid of this heaviness, this sadness, this kind of negative view of life that they can have. So
Hmm.
this is that. I'm not going to talk actually about um like you're gonna connect with the divine and stuff. This come after. To
Yeah.
me, really what I want to tell people is that there is a way where you can be happier, I swear. So
Mm.
just come and try. And yeah, to me, this is the basic of things. Like you don't have to be like this all the time.
Imagine you walk outside now and somebody on the street is like asking you, "How can I be happy?" What would be the simplest way you would explain it to them? How can they be happy?
Wow, that's a hard one. The simplest way.
Yeah.
I think I would say to just be and live in the present moment, really. There is a lot of people, and including myself, the moment when we disconnect with our sensation here and now and the present moment, this is when we start to be anxious about what happened or about what's going to happen. And when we are able to come back to just now, we can actually appreciate all the sensation with all the senses we have in this body, and we can be happy all the time.
But can people immediately go from doing to being, or do they first have to do some more to then be?
No, it's like being, I think it's too complicated to give as a first thing, like just be. People
Mhm.
don't know how to be. It's too complicated. But stay here and now, let's say stay focused, put your attention on the present moment. I think it's easier. Like try to see what's around you, try to smell what are what's the odor, I don't know how
Mhm.
to
Yeah,
say.
yeah.
Try to feel the sensation on your body. Try to maybe see how this person is feeling right now. Maybe share a smile, go in a coffee and taste the coffee for the first time. Like, I think it's easier to say people to come back to the sensations,
Mhm.
to the senses, because just be is complicated.
Yeah.
It doesn't
And
mean anything for a lot of people.
and what if when they connect to their senses, they feel sad over a loved one that's left them, or they feel like they have no purpose in life? If they feel a lot of sadness, what then?
Then
How
feel
can
it completely, feel it through the like through your bones, feel it and allow this emotion to move you to like completely be processed, because a lot of people are actually avoiding sadness or
Mhm.
grief or
Mhm.
anything that is considered as heavy. But this is when you give yourself the permission to feel all that you can actually move on and remove the layers step by
Mhm.
step and be more light and move through life with more ease. But first, that's true, people have to face this.
Mhm.
Otherwise, they live, let's say, not in a lie, but they are not able to completely feel what's making them so sad. But there is beauty in sadness. To me, there is beauty in feeling all the
Mhm.
depth of this sadness, for example. So when people are, let's say, sad or they're grieving in my sessions, I'm here to hold space for them, but I want them to stay there until it's completely processed and completely felt.
Mhm.
So I'm going to help them to go through the pain.
Mhm. Do you think that for like the masses in general, people, it's available, accessible if they don't do like sessions with you or other modalities where there is a focus on feeling or
Mm.
working with the body, with themselves, that if they don't do that, but just live their life, do you think that it's accessible to them and possible to actually surrender to the feelings and go through the feelings
I think it's accessible, but with guidance.
with guidance?
Yeah, I for a lot of people, I think it's accessible with guidance. It doesn't need necessarily to have body work or energy work to
Hmm.
me. I
Hmm.
think, for example, that the power, I'm going to talk to myself and for a lot of people that I've been working with, the power of music with guidance is very powerful.
Hmm.
So I think that, and that's actually something I really want to work on, being able to share with people a container where they can feel the music to help them tap into emotion with the guidance of the voice, with the power of words, is very accessible for a lot of people. A lot of people. So yes and no to your question. So yes, it's accessible, but still with guidance. And even with something as basic as music and words, they can go very deep.
Yeah.
But by themselves, just let's say if someone tell them, go deep in your emotions, if they don't have the right tools, I think it's very hard. I didn't have this back then, and it was super chaotic. I was feeling them all, but I was not able to process them and to make peace with it. So I was like stuck in the loop.
Yeah. Mm.
Mm.
Can you say something about the importance of like balance and not only focusing on going up, but understanding the power of like your roots, the sexual
Mm.
energy?
So that's a big thing. Um, when I started actually my journey, I realized that a lot of teachers and people in this work in self-development, spirituality, and growth, they were super focused on going up all the time and being connected to the divine and always trying to get information in, but they were carrying a lot of shame about what makes them human
Mm.
and an animal in a sense, what was making them here and now in this body. And there was also a lot of not shame, but just not feeling okay with their own sexual energy. So to me, actually, I really focused on this with Elliot's work. So after the sisters, I really felt like I wanted to deepen my knowledge about energy, about shadow work,
Yeah.
about all this, you know.
Mm.
So I did the training with Elliot, and he's working a lot with this these first two chakras, and there is a lot in here that needs to be healed and processed, so you can actually connect from your higher chakra, but completely embody what you receive, and having a healthy sexual
Mhm.
energy flow, to me is primordial to be aligned and to be able to actually be balanced.
Yeah.
Because if you carry shame or if you're not at ease with your first two energetic centers, to me, the foundation itself of how you're built energetically is not there. So it's very
Mhm.
important. And also, there is a lot of power. Like, it's healthy. Like, you need to move the energy there. And actually, there is a lot of emotions that are stuck here and needs to be processed. We store a lot, especially women also, in the womb, in the hips. There is past life traumas and encoded in genetics. Like, we need to go there, we need to connect there, we need to let it flow, we need to understand it, we need to be able to make this energy move and to be able to transform sexual energy in divine energy as well. And when we get to do this, we actually are much more able to be super grounded and be able to receive a lot. So I
Mm.
really noticed this with me. And um, I also really feel that for friends that I have that are facilitators, when they still carry a lot of shame with the sexual energy, like, oh no, I don't feel like, oh. Most of the time, there is a lot of energetic knots there that are keeping them from being very also helpful for people,
Yeah.
because I think it's important to be at ease with every part of yourself. And this primal energy, sexual energy, is a big one for a lot of people, a big topic, and especially for women. So I think as facilitators also, it's kind of our responsibility to do the work, to be honest,
Mm.
because otherwise we just can't hold space from an authentic self where you actually are at ease with this part of you that is, to me, again, like one of the most important thing, really.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. Thank you for sharing that. What is Kundalini? Like, what is it? Where does it come from? Why? Who?
Mm. So Hmm. We are almost getting back to the first question, right?
Mhm. But
So,
I'm asking about the what you share in your sessions in
yeah,
that terms.
yeah. So I'm gonna give you the explanation I give to all my clients.
Sure.
So Kundalini energy
Mhm.
is this divine natural energy we all have within us. It's the combination of your life force energy, so your Shakti energy, okay, the ascending current coming from your root chakra up to your crown, and merging with Kundalini Shiva, so pure consciousness, your divine masculine coming from your crown down to your root. And when these two energies are eventually flowing freely in the body, they meet in the heart chakra at the center
Mm,
with this perfect balance. And this is where you can have this Kundalini energy starting to arise. And when you have this connection to the divine and to the life force as well. So connection to the sky, to the earth, and this flow. And this is
mm,
when you get higher state of consciousness, when you are connecting to oneness, when you are
mm,
basically activating this spiritual force within yourself.
mm,
So to me, actually, it's very important all the time to say that there is an ascending and a descending currents in Kundalini
mm,
energy. It's not just this. It's not just the snake going up. There is really these two currents happening at the
mm.
same
So thank you. In terms of dynamics, if
time.
you imagine the room, the space where you give sessions, and you see all these bodies, people coming in, their bodies are laying there, and then you, the facilitator, you enter the room.
Mm-hmm.
What is happening when you start the session? What is happening with you? What are you doing? What is happening with them?
Hmm. So for me, also, even before the session happens, safety, the notion of safetiness, and create an emotional link almost is very important for me. I need people to feel safe because otherwise I will not have access to them the way I want
Mm,
for this specific experience.
mm,
So there is first a real sense of safetiness that I need to create in the room. I need people to feel that they can actually let go of control and surrender because the surrender state it's not that easy of like, oh, please surrender, you know? You need to create the conditions for people to be able to surrender. So there is this first part to me that is very, very important. So I create safety. Then I think people that watch your content know how a session works. They
mm,
lie down. And there is also for me a very special time where I get to first do a little meditation to connect with each person, to actually feel the field, okay? To feel
mhm,
the field in his globality and with each person. To see, to also observe, because there is the surrender, but as a space holder for me, I observe a lot. I use the
mhm,
language of the body a lot to know where this person is. And in the
mm,
meditation, when you start to make them enter within in the body, start to feel comfortable, to listen to your voice, to prepare them to the session, you can actually already see clues from
mm,
people
mm,
to already notice maybe if they're a bit stressed, if they work, like if they move. Some people, maybe they're going to open their eyes, they're a bit anxious. You can already see some things happening. And
yeah,
when the music really starts, I already have an idea, both energetically and with what they show me physically, of where each person is right now.
mm,
Then, then I connect and they resonate with me, and I resonate with them as well. Like
mm,
each session is unique, and it's also very important for me to be present when someone is giving me the signal through the body, through everything that she or he is ready to go deep.
mhm,
I think it's also important for me to be there and to answer this call of the person of the soul and
mm,
to really hold space and help this person to go. deep in wherever she or he wants to go. So
Mm,
also in my in-person sessions, of course, because online is different, but in the person, I really step in the person process and I talk to them. I go with them. I see the language of the body and I feel them and I know when they need me to help them go
mhm.
through this. So I also
Nice.
use a lot the touch.
Yeah.
Um, I tell people that I'm here. I use also soft touch sometimes when they are going through a very deep emotional release or they are grieving, like they need to feel safe.
Mm,
I want them to associate this moment where they released as a moment where they felt held.
mm, mm. So, one more question about this.
Mhm.
Imagine the room, all the people there are there for the session, but instead of you coming to facilitate, we just take somebody from the street and we're like, hey, come you and facilitate.
Mm.
Why can you facilitate and why can he not facilitate?
It's a vibration thing. It's I can facilitate because it's an energy frequency that I have embodied within me. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm able to make it resonate through my entire body
Mm-hmm.
so people can resonate with me. And
Yeah.
if you ask randomly to someone, he is or she is probably not vibrating on the same frequency as I am. So he will not be able to share this frequency that is needed for people
Yeah.
to tap into their life force energy.
Mm.
So I think it's just a matter of frequency. But maybe you can get very lucky and ask someone who's like super activated, but you
Yeah,
have
yeah.
one chance out of a million.
But um, you learned to embody the frequency during a training, right?
No,
No.
no. It's I was a spontaneous channel.
Mm-hmm.
So how did I discover that is actually okay, kind of it's a private thing, but I'm going to share it. Um, I did sessions and then I remember I did a retreat. I did retreats with Marieke
Mm-hmm.
again.
Mm-hmm.
So it was, I don't know, 4 sessions in total. And it was the last day of the training. There was this music I remember. It's mountain dance.
Mm-hmm.
And during this session, it was the last one. I was standing and I was literally like having my hands in the sky, and I received in this session, I received pure light in the hands. And then I shared clouds in the room. And then I had the vision and it was going all around the globe. And it was like clouds of like pure love and stuff. But I really felt like something was given to me. It was
Mm-hmm.
me. So the session ends. I'm like, what the fuck was that? And the retreat weekend ends, and we are in the room with my partner, and we are sharing a intimate time, okay? And I feel that I don't want to have sex. I don't want to have sex at all. And I start to cry
Mm.
in the bed to feel like it's something's off. So my partner is like, it's completely fine. You don't want, there is nothing to like, don't cry, it's okay.
Mm.
And I'm like, yeah, but I feel like I want to give you something. I feel like I don't know. I feel something needs to be shared, but I just don't feel it's physical.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, okay. And then he start to lay down and I lay down and like I'm like completely moved. And I start to be like not in a trance mode, but just canalizing, and I start to facilitate in the bed and he is starting to being so activated. It was crazy. So I was basically
Wow.
facilitating in the bed and I didn't even know what was happening. And it was super strong.
Wow.
And until it was at the beginning Kundalini activation in the sense that as we know it, so life force a lot, and then it ended up being more tantric. But it was like everything was happening through me, and I was not
Mm.
controlling everything. And after, I felt like so much relief. I felt like, oh, okay, I wanted to share that with you.
Wow.
And so this is actually how it happened. And
Mm.
I shared that to Marieke the day after, and she was like, yeah, of course, because the energy moved through you this way, I've noticed. And then she told me we are coming from the same lineage of prehistories, but I'm like, I feel like everyone is telling you this, so I don't know. But she was basically, yeah, telling me that she knew this, that it would happen. And then I came home, and this is when I started to activate my roommate and the cacao ceremony stuff. So
Hmm.
I was sharing this
Yeah.
before I trained, and I trained because I just honored the like my my life as it was supposed to be. Like I didn't want it to be a facilitator at the beginning. It happened, but
Mm.
when it happened, I knew that I had this feeling from the very first session that it would happen.
Yeah. Mm. So you did the training with the Case sisters. What's like the difference between level 1 and level 2?
So level one was much more getting people to embody this frequency so they can share it. So
Hmm.
you get activated a lot, so it become a part of yourself. You're
Yeah.
able to vibrate this
Hmm.
frequency with people, and of course, telling you about the security stuff, blah blah blah. So the level one is really about making you being able to share the frequency. Okay.
Hmm.
The level two is about you being able to get in a state where you are put into the consciousness itself. So you almost fade when you get there. You're getting such a big amount of there that you go in consciousness and then you share it with the person you are holding space for.
Hmm.
And then you don't do anything. Then you kind of step back. When the person is there, you step back and you let the like consciousness do the work. You're not involved anymore. And then it can happen that the person is gonna lie down and being experiencing a lot of things for maybe an hour, or it's gonna be 2 minutes. We never
Hmm.
know. And then
Hmm.
they can also experience like the real non-dual state. They can fade because they are living.
Hmm.
This is the difference between the two levels.
So for people who are going to like sessions when there's level 1 or level 2 facilitations,
Yeah.
what's like what should they know, like in level 1 what can they experience, and in level 2 what can they experience as participants?
So level one, they will experience the flow of their life force energy and again, eventually connect to something deeper, to what we call Kundalini energy,
Yeah.
connect to divinity. So with level one facilitators, they're gonna, yeah, experience this life force, experience emotional release, but they're probably not gonna experience, unless they are ready for it, a state of non-duality, a state
Yeah.
of them connecting with pure consciousness itself and being in this non-dual state when you just are.
Hmm.
You are not attached to any emotion, any results. You just are. And it's actually very weird because you feel that you don't have emotion.
Uh-huh.
With level two facilitators, they can expect to experience that and to go in another step, in another level of their own self-realization and vibration and spiritual connection. Because the more you get into this state of very high state of consciousness or non-dual state, when you come back, the more you actually vibrate higher and the more you can also connect with non-dual view or state on your daily life.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
you are basically, life gets easier. Like you
Hmm.
are able to detach much more easily so you can grow quicker.
Interesting. So what was Kundalini Bodywork then about for you?
Mm. Kundalini Bodywork is really, so I wanted to know more about the body. I wanted to work more with sexual energy. I wanted to able to have more knowledge about shadow work. So to me, I went to Kundalini Bodywork to know all that. And
Mm-hmm.
the training was amazing. I really, really love Elliot. He's a dear friend.
Mm,
And I was very happy because I was really able to learn how to work with the body, how to
mm-hmm.
work with trauma that is stored in the body, how to work with the breath, how to work with divinity, but also how to hold space in a more masculine way
Mm-hmm.
where you can actually do both. Now I do both in my session. I use the feminine, of course. This is the way I'm the more at ease. But when I need to step in and give guidance and coach and also work with the body, I have this tool. And for some people, they need that. So I'm very happy that I'm able to also help people better because I have this knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, so it was more about that. And also, it's very helpful what he does with the polarities work, with his polarity framework. I don't know if you've seen it, but he's working with the feminine energy, masculine energy, mature, immature, and for people in their self-development on the, let's say, the daily life, like something that has to be understandable with the mind, because the mind is present. It's very important in our being. It's a dimension of us that is very, very present. And he gives us tools that really help people for the mind. Like, okay,
Mm-hmm.
this is a shadow. This is a mature way to experience this energy. So how can I transform this immature to a mature? And also realize when they are in this pattern.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, this I've been acting as a victim. And it's okay to acknowledge it, but the fact that they know how to do to like transform it, what they should cultivate, what is the mature of this immature is
Mm-hmm.
giving them a structure, and it's very
Mm-hmm.
helpful. So I
Interesting.
also really like the fact that it's helping people to have also kind of a non-dual view of themselves using this framework. So it's cool. I think he's really
Mm.
doing a good job.
Mm. Um, do you still have time for a couple of questions more, or
Mhm.
are you short on time?
No, it's okay.
So, because you were talking about just this, I'm wondering, can I give you an example and can you look at it?
Okay, wait, let me just get, I think that would be amazing if I can share with you the framework.
Okay.
Wait,
Yeah.
so people can see what I'm talking about.
Mhm.
Okay, so now I have it. So if I share my screen, where? Ah, okay. Do you see it?
Yeah.
Perfect.
So, I know somebody, and she's a woman,
Mm-hmm.
and she was in a relationship with her colleague. More or less, they were like exploring things.
Mm-hmm.
And after a while, she said, I don't want a relationship with you. I don't want a relationship with you. It doesn't feel right. So she stopped. She said, we're just going to be friends. And then she met another person. And then when this other person, she had like this experience of melting. And there was a lot of love, a lot of peace. And she was like, wow, now I really know, like, this is what I want. And I don't have this in the other one.
Yeah.
So she was like, okay, this. But then after some time, weeks went by, she again felt like this urge or need, like, mm, I want to connect again with the other guy. So the other guy, he asked her to go to a cabin, and she's like, okay, sure, let's go into a cabin. There's gonna be a hot tub and stuff. And then while she was there, she said she felt like there was like almost this tension between them that was there, this tension. And it made it interesting because the tension wasn't there with the other guy, where there was just this melting and acceptance and love and peace. And with this one, there's this tension. And she's like, and it's so interesting because we're not constantly touching, there's tension, there's this distance. And then after some time, when we do come together, it's so disappointing.
Mm.
And she's like, from like my inner child wants to go here, and I feel like I want attention, I want love. But from an adult level, I see I need to put strict boundaries and say, no, this is not leading, this is like not healthy, or this is not leading anything. So she's like stuck, like how to get out of this situation, how to be sure and know what to do.
But like with the other guy, she
Yeah.
went back because she felt that she wanted to see him as a person. Like, what was the motivation for it?
Her motivation was he's a friend, and she just wants to share love with him. But one of her thing was she also wants attention. She wants attention,
Okay,
and she
so
wants
we
to be
are
cared
here.
for.
Oh, oops. So we are in the immature of attention seeking, right?
Ah, mm-hmm.
Then she's self-harming herself. You said that.
Yeah.
Like she knows it's bad,
Mm-hmm.
she's gonna do it anyway.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna just like
Yeah.
see it as Elliot actually built this framework,
Yeah.
okay? Because
Yeah.
again, it's not my work, it's Elliot's work.
Mm-hmm.
So for example, when you are in this shadow of attention seeking of someone, the idea is that you get in the mature here of self-assured. Like you are so self-assured that you don't need the attention of this person.
Mm-hmm.
It's not an energy that you need anymore because it's already embodied from within.
Mm-hmm.
And so to jump from attention seeking to self-assured, it's too complicated.
Mm-hmm.
So for him, his perspective is that to transform this into this,
Mm-hmm.
you need to actually cultivate this.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like a cross thing.
Yeah.
So to get from attention seeking to self-assured, you need to cultivate humbleness. And
Okay.
the more you're going to cultivate humbleness, the more it's going to be natural and easy for you to be self-assured. And
Interesting.
for people who are there, it's easier for them to cultivate the mature of the opposite energy than
Mm-hmm.
trying to jump from here to here. It's
Yeah.
very hard. And so that's the same. Let's say if you're someone that is attached, let's say to someone,
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to take the example of a person. So you're attached to someone, like you're like, I don't want you to go. The mature of this is diversity. Like you're not attached to anything because you are always vibrating in this flow of
Yeah.
diversity. It's
Yeah.
always there. There is nothing to be attached on because life is diverse.
Yeah.
So then you're gonna cultivate interdependence so you can get there. So this
Mm-hmm.
is how it works. So with this person, if we were about to do a Kundalini Bodywork session and walking through shadows, we would cultivate humbleness or another mature masculine that she may have if she's not humble, because
Mm.
it can also work with other mature masculine.
Yeah.
And yeah,
Interesting.
but this
Mm.
framework is very interesting. Honestly, my clients, they really love it because it really gives them also a view of their own behavior. Like they can see it written and it's very easy for them to relate.
And so, if I may ask, if you see this and you know, okay, I need to develop humbleness, and you go about doing a session with you, for instance, in
Mhm.
Kundalini Bodywork session, you then work with an intention, and then during the session, material comes up that the client has to work through.
Yeah. So how it works, it's very different from a Kundalini activation. So there is a big part with Kundalini Bodywork where we talk. So the
Mm-hmm.
intention work is very important. And especially, for example, the first session, I can talk with the client for an hour and a half. There is a
Okay.
lot of psychology involved. The idea is to not talk too much about the story, but what are the emotions related to the story.
Mm-hmm.
And we really go through all this, we talk, and for me, it's also a moment where I am taking notes that are going to be triggered words, trigger point, triggered thing that I will be able to use
Yeah.
during the session. So
Yeah.
we work with this. So first I connect with the emotions, not too much with the story, but the emotions and the traumas that are related to the stories and the emotions.
Yeah.
And then based on this, we are using the polarity framework, and then we create an intention. based
Mm-hmm.
on all this.
Mm-hmm.
And during the session, I always remind the person of the intention, and I also use keywords, and I also trigger words, trigger thing to transform and to let the emotions flow. This is
Yeah.
how it works.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And so the client will then have an ability to feel and embody the resistance that's preventing him experiencing humbleness, for instance.
Yeah, they can.
Mm-hmm.
It's not for, it can take more than one session to get there, but the idea is that they connect with patterns, or that they can have realizations about things that are keeping them from already being what they want to be, from
Yeah.
already being in this vibration of this intention. And sometimes it's also happening on the subconscious mind. A lot
Mm-hmm.
is happening in the subconscious, because I had this client. He didn't had any major realization during the session. It was mostly physical. He released a lot of pain, and he was feeling very light at the end of the session. But the days after, he was embodying his intention. Like, he was like, I don't know how. I feel like I removed hundreds of kilos of pain that I had related to this intention. So
Wow.
a lot happens on the subconscious mind as well.
That's very interesting. Mm. How has the support been from people around you, like especially now when you're really in it?
What, can you ask the question again?
Yeah. Like, how has the support been from people around you,
Um, mm,
especially now when you're really like in it and you're expanding, doing retreats?
yeah. The support, you mean from friends and family, basically?
Yeah.
So I think I'm quite lucky.
Mm.
Um, I have an amazing partner, really, because we met each other before my journey.
Mm-hmm.
He met the past version of myself when I was a very chaotic person. And he saw me completely changed. And he saw me, and he actually had to change also his own archetype as a man, because he was at the beginning the protector of a little child that was needy and always like in a lot of shadows of her
Mm-hmm.
shadows, to now being with someone who is quite working on herself, and I don't need him anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm with him because I love him and I decide to be with him, but
Yeah.
I don't need him.
Mm.
So I think I'm very lucky actually that he was able to evolve with me, and he's very supportive. So I think it's
Mm.
important again to be with someone who wants you to continue to evolve, and who is not afraid of you evolving, and he's not afraid of losing you because you evolved. So
Mm.
he has never been holding me back from training and changing and expanding. So I feel very, very lucky. He's a very supportive
Mm.
person in my life. From my parents, nah, like not really, but I don't really care. Like I don't expect and I don't need them to be this support for me. Um, yeah, I know that it's not our karmic link with my parents is not that. I know that this is not what we are supposed to give to each other. So I'm very okay with it. Like I don't care, and I don't hold any emotion or something about this. So it's very okay. And my friends are very supportive. I have a good
Mm.
community. I have also very good relationship with my mentors, with my teachers. So anytime I feel like I need guidance, I have it. So no, honestly, I feel very supported and very held.
Mm.
Um, I have to say that I'm in a I still try to find my community here in Lisbon, because I've been very focused on work and the online stuff, that I didn't created yet this pool of people I want to be with and live with here. So I really want to focus on that soon. I really want to create this strong community of people, of friends here. But
Mm.
other than that, I feel very happy and very healthy.
On your journey, were there like periods you felt like you wasted time?
Hmm. So Yes and no. Like, yes, but more not about the work I was doing or okay, let me try to be clear because it's a bit complicated
Hmm.
to
Hmm.
understand. When I arrived in Portugal, I was living in a village called Ericeira.
Hmm.
And it's a very small village with not a lot of people. That is almost an hour away from Lisbon. And I was doing my work there, doing sessions there, but it was so small. And I felt like at this point, I was in an environment that was not supportive for my work.
Hmm.
I knew it.
Hmm.
And I was staying there because actually I didn't want to, like, I didn't honor myself because I didn't want to ask again my partner, like, we're gonna move again.
Yeah, yeah,
I knew it was a big thing, like, we need to ground, we need to be somewhere, we need to actually have a home. And I knew that he was a bit tired of moving all the time, and he was quite happy there in Ericeira. So I went to that phase where I was like, okay, no, it's gonna be okay. I'm gonna drive to Lisbon and it's gonna work and the universe will bring me all the clients, blah blah blah. I was trying to convince myself, but deep inside, I knew it was not supportive. I knew I
yeah.
was kind of losing time there. So
Mm.
it was the only moment. It was like more about the environment. And I also realized how important it is for your expansion and the work that you do to be in a place where you feel supported by the
Mm.
land, by the people, by the energy
Mm.
of the place you live in. So that's the only time, but it lasted for 6 months, huh? So it was a
Wow.
lot. And I was feeling it, and actually I was feeling that I was losing a bit of my own connection because I
Hmm.
was not honoring myself. So it was creating knots, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, this happened, and
Mm.
at one point it was just not possible. So I said to my partner, "I'm sorry, but we need to go. We need to move. Like it's not me here. I'm lowering myself. I feel like my fire is decreasing."
Yeah,
So.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And of
Mm.
course, he understood. So I was creating my own prison in a sense. Like, again,
Interesting.
I was creating my own limitations.
Yeah. Mm. Were do you think that like in that situation you maybe also had like an unconscious fear of real expansion and taking certain steps?
No, it was not about the expansion. I
No,
think
no.
the fear was related to my partner, really. About I
Mm.
don't want him. It was not a fear. It was more, I don't want to put him through that again right now.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
A
yeah. Okay.
breath.
Mm.
It was more about like putting him first before
Yeah,
me
yeah,
because I also had the belief that I was more able to handle this situation, that he was able to handle a new change again.
yeah, 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 yeah.
It
Interesting.
was, it was more that, yeah.
About like relationships and navigating relationships, how has your relationship changed during all the energy work?
Oh, wow. It completely changed, really. When we got together, we were two broken people.
Ooh.
With a lot of shadows, a lot of traumas, and we were mirroring that with each other. We were triggering each other, and I think that's why in the first place we wanted to be together because we felt that there was a lot that we can learn with each other. So this it was the beginning, and then when I started to do energy work, actually my partner came to all the sessions with me, and since
Whoa.
the beginning he decided that you're not going to take this train without me. So I was very lucky. I mean, luck maybe has nothing to do with this. I think we just our two souls wants to evolve together.
Yeah, yeah,
And even though, and at the beginning, the first 4 sessions, he didn't felt anything.
yeah.
So he was like, we were coming back. I was having this massive transformation. and he was feeling zero. So, but he kept coming until one day he experienced a lot of things, and then he had the energy moving through him, but he didn't have any spiritual realization or connection.
Hmm. Hmm.
But energy work helped him with his shadows. So
Yeah.
he was able to work on himself. Me, I was like literally completely changing, and we were just being our mature version of each other,
Yeah.
and we're rediscovering each other, and we were also honoring this transformation, continuing to
Mm.
talking, a lot of communication, a lot of sort of the physical connection changed, because when you have an energetic body, like the intimate life completely changed.
Yeah.
You realize that you actually never made love before.
Mm.
You were just having two bodies doing stuff, but it's not
Hmm.
making love. So
Yeah.
we also experienced that together. And because he has an active energetic body, he was able to feel this vibration of orgasmic energy, not just physically but energetically. So we were able to share that.
Mm.
Everything changed in our couple, basically.
Mm.
Everything. The way we talk, the way we share, the way we connect, all of it.
I wonder, what do you think of like if like somebody in your position
Mm-hmm.
or your partner to give sessions to each other, or like
Mm-hmm.
you giving sessions to him? Do you think it's okay?
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah. You,
I
you, you don't think that you are getting too involved in his process, or maybe there are things he doesn't want you to see, or he doesn't feel comfortable with, or he needs to do on his own?
Of course, yes. So
Mhm.
to me, it's about boundaries and keeping this simplicity. Like we are together. So the idea is that we want to share as much good times as possible together and
Yeah.
connect and have the juiciest time ever together. Basically,
Yeah.
that's the thing. Happy
Yeah.
moments, happy connection, juicy time, the good, right? And
Yeah.
also,
Yeah.
of course, when it's needed, we go deep together and it create intimacy to get
Mhm.
that vulnerability. But for sessions, for example, it can also be fun and light. It doesn't have to be seen as a deep process and I'm going to be the person holding space for you in that sense. It's
Yeah.
much more, I'm going to share this frequency that is part of me and that you're resonating with me because it's part of you. Do you want to join and experience your own energy with me holding space?
Yeah.
Yes, no. Yes, super, come, and I'm happy to. And I'm detached of you right now. I don't see you as a patient or whatever. I just see you as my partner, and I'm just sharing the frequency basically. I'm not going to
Mm.
analyze you. And if you need this work, like if you need someone to really go deep with you and your trauma and stuff, then you can go somewhere else, of course, if you feel like you want to
Mhm.
keep that for yourself and it's your own self-development. So I think there is two things about giving sessions. There is
Mm.
what's the intention behind it? And if the intention is actually to take this role of take care and be the mother and do the things so he can heal, I think, for to my own perspective, that's not something good for the couple because
Mhm.
it's not, the balance is not there anymore.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
So
Mm.
yeah, sharing a session for him to have his own process and enjoy the frequency, yes. Sharing session for me to be his psychologist, no.
No. Mhm.
Mm.
So you haven't done any Kundalini body work with him?
Not yet. Wait, I need to open to my
Yeah.
cat.
Yeah. Yeah. Go ahead.
Sorry, he's like yelling
It's
at me.
fine.
Um, so the wait, I'm gonna sit.
Mhm.
So no, I didn't do any bodywork sessions. I know he wants to experience it. I'm not against it, but regarding the intention, I think we would keep it simple.
Mhm.
No, it's because we work with intention. I
Yeah.
think it would keep it simple, or also it would be more focused on how do we transform pain into pleasure, because a lot of Elliot's work is transforming pain into pleasure. So maybe it would be more a body work, focusing more on how can you transmute this pain, and if there are emotions coming up, it's okay, but let's work a lot with sexual energy, how we can make it more spicy, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't
Mm.
want to be the therapist of my partner.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I don't
But
want to be, yeah.
yeah, but you have giving him sessions now, but there is not like an imbalance because you're in the role of guide.
No,
No.
because I'm not in the role of guide. That's the thing. Like
Mm.
with him, I'm not in that role. With him, eventually, when I give session, I'm more in the role of like the divine pre-stress sharing love and this divine frequency for
Yeah,
him
yeah,
to
yeah.
like tap also into his own divine on divinity, you know. So with him, because he's my partner, it always kind of end up in a very sexual energy thing,
Mm-hmm,
because
mm-hmm.
I'm not
Yeah,
here
yeah,
as a guide, I'm here
yeah. Mm.
as his his woman basically. So
Yeah. Mm.
I'm not taking this role as a guide. And
Yeah.
even when he joins my session, my group sessions, he enjoys the frequency, but he doesn't see me as a guide. He sees me as his partner holding space and just him like coming and enjoying the session, you know?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Hmm.
So yeah.
What can people expect like from working with you?
Hmm. They can expect, I mean, first we can go as deep as they want to go. Like I will never be able to do magic with them if they don't want to change or if they don't want to go deep in the process. So that's
Mm.
something very important. We are, and I am just here to guide them and hold space so they can transform themselves. So they can expect from me to be present and to give them the tools and to give them all the love I can so they can become their own healer in a sense, so they can understand how they work, how
Yeah.
to make energy move inside of them, how basically they can connect with a dimension of themselves that is very important and they don't know yet.
Mm.
So yeah, that's the thing.
So, how does consciousness play a part in all of this?
Hmm. What is this for you?
Everything that you're doing, everything that you're sharing, everything that you're experiencing.
Hmm. I think that it's very complicated for me to answer that because I don't detach consciousness from me or
Mm.
from you or from this mug. So to me, it's more how can I become consciousness itself
Mm-hmm.
so I can tap into the best like healing I can give to other. How can I really connect with consciousness itself? How can I
Yeah,
be
yeah,
consciousness?
yeah, yeah.
It's not something that is dissociated from me. It's more the moment I realize that I am in this oneness and I'm receiving the right informations and I feel like everything is flowing and I have this huge amount of pure love, this is where I am consciousness and consciousness is guiding me because it's me also in a sense.
Mm.
So I sometimes it's very complicated for me to express about this because
Yeah,
it's a,
yeah,
and but to me there is no separation. So yeah, the only thing I could say is that I can feel when I am not realizing I am consciousness itself. When I'm too much in the ego, this is where I feel like consciousness is not holding me because I am not holding myself.
Mhm, mhm, mhm.
Because I am in this game, I am in this ego, I am in this mind, and at this moment, this is where I actually not realizing that we are pure consciousness itself.
Mm. It's interesting. Like, how much of your life do you, Sophia, consciously make conscious choices and consciously act and do? And how much is consciousness, universal intelligence, using you to express itself and do what is needed?
Mm. So I think the more I evolve, the more I'm able to be in that state. To me, that is very connected to actually non-duality.
Mm-hmm.
The more I evolve, the more I actually can be in this state where there is no separation and consciousness is just part of the reality. And I can sometimes actually even visualize literally dimensions that I was not able to visualize before.
Mm.
Like, for example, the plants that are moving or breathing, some sacred geometries in leaves, in eyes that is becoming matter.
Yeah.
So this is getting more and more accessible to me as I raise my own vibration and I stay devoted. The whole devotion to me is very important. The moment I am less devoted, the moment I am not consciously mhm,
Mm.
um, realizing how divine we are, how everything is just divinity here in this reality, in the matter. The moment I start to really be more in the 3D and like doing stuff without bringing my own consciousness into it, this is the more where I feel like I lose it a bit, or the moment where I'm going to react very quickly. Like I don't take time to receive the world, to
Mm.
feel
Mm.
it in my body, to like experience whatever I'm receiving so I'm able to give back.
Mhm.
When I'm like, when it's too quick, when I am in loops that I just don't take time to breathe or to come to like step back, this is where I feel like I'm losing it a bit. And
Mm.
in this type of moment, definitely I don't think I'm an instrument of divinity, of how the divine consciousness is being expressed in this world. Because I'm in my automatic mode, you know? I'm like, I'm not I am not there as part of something bigger. I'm just there as part as Sophia or the persona I created as Sophia.
Mhm, mhm. Do you pray?
Sometimes.
To what?
Um, it's not prayers as um it's not prayers like I'm not gonna pray, let's say, a god, someone like not in this way, but I do believe the power of the energy I send matters. So when there is something that I feel like I need to give in terms of vibration, I'm gonna pray for people, I'm gonna pray for situations, I'm gonna pray sometimes for myself.
Mm.
I'm going to pray for nature, for Gaia. So it depends, but I really do believe of the power of the energy I send. So this is why I pray, because I think that we are here instruments. And when we send energy, it's received somewhere.
Mhm, mhm,
But this is
mhm.
how I do prayers.
and and the quality of like devotion, when did that come into your life and how did it like develop, and when do you know that you're devoted or not? Like, is it a feeling?
Yeah, mm, it's more than a feeling. It's just something that I can't even explain. Like it's there.
Mm.
It's in everything I'm gonna do, the food I'm gonna
Mm-hmm.
put in my body, the
Yeah.
thoughts I'm gonna entertain, the words I'm gonna say, even the looks I'm gonna do to the world, whatever I'm gonna take in. It's to me, devotion is really like
Mm.
how far am I going to completely embody the service I'm here to do?
Yeah.
And when I'm aligned, I'm really realizing that it's a life of devotion that I'm living because I'm here to serve. And to serve, I need to be devoted. Otherwise, I will not serve in the way I want, in the way I
Mm-hmm.
feel like I should serve.
Mm.
And I have a very big also, I cannot serve if I know that in my daily life I'm not devoted and I'm not putting everything at service again. So if I'm having a bad lifestyle, for example, I will not feel, not worthy is not the right word, but I will feel that I'm not the same instrument as when I'm completely devoted for to everything I'm doing in my life.
Yeah. Mm.
Mm.
But when you are devoted, are you devoted to a mission, to a quality, to
I'm devoted to humans, to love.
humans?
Yeah, I'm devoted to the mission I have here is simple, is to try to embody this pure love and to share it with as much people as I can so they can feel it, embody it as well. This is my
Mm-hmm.
mission. Like really, it's quite simple at the end, but sometimes it's with sessions, sometimes it's just with a conversation, a look, a hug.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
I remember one of my first cap sessions. I I had like this vision. I was asking like, God, what is your will? And I saw like I had this vision. It was so it's so vivid. Like I saw like worlds, and the world there was like destruction, and there were like these entities, and I saw like that there were like heaps of people that were suffering by entities that were attached to them, feeding of them. And then I saw like this image of like people who had like a white shield or white light around them, and other people would gather near them, and they would be like protected.
Mm,
And then I saw this vision, like I saw the world, and I saw like this human form like light up, light up, light up, and over in the whole the world just like lights, all these humans lighting up. And it's like, this is my will, like something like that. I was like, whoa.
wow, that's
That was
beautiful.
so nice. It was really nice.
Oh yeah, I mean that's true. Like literally, we are just all here for other people to feel the love and to feel that life is worthy to be lived in a state of pure love.
Mm,
But there is
mm,
actually no, I know it sounds a bit like not stupid, but a bit utopic.
mm,
But I do believe that if we were able to extend this work beyond, there would be no more war, no more, like
mm,
people wouldn't fight because they wouldn't even connect with the motivation of the
mm,
fight.
mm, mm,
Like they wouldn't even understand why they do that.
mm,
You know, like because
mm.
it would not be coming from here, so they wouldn't be able to do it. They wouldn't even know what to feed.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Almost last question. How do you love, and how can you teach people to love?
Mm. I love really from, that's very true. I really love from my heart, but in all the richness the heart can feel and give. I have a very, very open heart. And I love, I think, without conditions, really. um, I think you can hurt me, you can do a lot of things. I will continue to love you and to see the humanness and the love in you.
Mm-hmm.
So this is how I love. I really love from all my beings, and when I feel like I can lose this, I come back to the sensation, so I'm able to give back from here. Because when I lose it, it just means that I'm in my mind and I'm not
Mm-hmm.
in the sensation and in the energy anymore. So this is how I love, really, and I love deeply. I want people also to feel that they are loved. I think it's important to say it and to vibrate energetically on it, but also to say it because words carry a lot of power and they can really help people to feel this love. So I also love with the words, with the touch, with everything, with eyes, with all of my being, basically. It's an
Mm-hmm.
instrument of how can I show this person what is love,
Yeah.
and how I receive it the same way. But I can definitely feel when it's when I receive love from someone who really is in this vibration of love,
Mm-hmm.
and when it's from someone who is giving love from the mind and not from the heart, actually. And
Mm-hmm.
this happens a lot. And on the question of how to teach people to love, I think it's to, again, bring them back home where they can feel love from the body and from
Mm-hmm.
the energy of the heart. Because a lot of people experience love or no love from the mind.
Yeah.
So they just don't know what love is at the end.
Mm.
So, mm.
Nice. Is there like a lesson you learned that was like really important and you still remember frequently?
I just feel like I'm having lessons every day, so I cannot connect with just one. But I feel like the biggest lesson is to me, is the moment you think you know is actually when you don't know anything. So to me, I try to stay curious and to always disconstruct what I know so I can continue to evolve and to always have a new eyes on people, situations. So to me, it was not coming from a lessons, it's actually more coming from a lot of different lessons and life itself. I'm just trying to always start as a blank page, each
Mm.
situation, each sessions, each person, each exchange. Um, because again, the present moment for me is very important. And I don't want to live my experience based on what I know or what I think I know. So yeah, to me, it's that like being able to always kind of learn as
Mm.
you don't know anything. Mm.
Yeah. What is like exciting for you? What excites you?
Mhm. Actually, that's interesting because it's an emotion that is quite hard for me to get.
Oh.
Mm. Um, but no, that's very true. It's not easy for me to be excited.
Interesting.
I think what excites me is what is related to like having fun,
Mm-hmm.
you know?
Mm-hmm.
So I love to dance, I love to create. All that is about creativity and fun is kind of exciting. The
Mm-hmm.
rest is more like it is, you know, sometimes that's the thing. Um, I don't connect that much with excitement. When
Mm.
it's the creativity and having fun, of course. But yeah, I think what excites me is to create new things. Um,
Mm-hmm.
no, yeah, create new thing, and when also I'm living surprising things, like things that surprise me, that's exciting.
Mm. So this is another question. Like, do you think that all of us or most of us have like a father or a mother wound that if we don't heal will keep reappearing in our relationship and will keep sabotaging connection, deeper vulnerability. um,
Mm. Mm. I think the majority of people have that, like
mm,
a deep wound, a deep trauma that is coming from childhood and our parents that we definitely need to heal.
mm,
But I also do believe that some people don't have parents' traumas.
mm,
I can say that because my boyfriend, he cannot connect with a single trauma from his parents
mm,
because his parents were loving each other, so giving a very healthy figure of what love is between parents. They always supported the kid for the passions, for what they wanted. They were at home, so very present physically as well. Like he literally cannot connect with um, a childhood trauma. That's yeah, I was like, wow.
interesting.
And the trauma he actually can connect with were creating by other people, you know, so women, etc. But his parents, no, he has nothing in here, nothing resentful, nothing toward his parents.
Hmm.
When I talk about him about his parents, he's like, yeah, I used to play with them because his parents were having money and he was like creating these woods cabins and stuff, and he was playing with his parents. So like when I ask, he has none.
Hmm.
So for yeah, that's very, very interesting. So I would have said yes before, but with him, like it's actually a reality that some people don't have childhood traumas caused by parents.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So yeah.
You know, because you work with the body, I
Mm-hmm.
wonder, do you think there is a difference if, like, for instance, everybody has like different bodies, right? Right, like
Yeah.
mental, physical, energetic, all that stuff.
Yeah.
If somebody has like some kind of trauma or some kind of pattern or some kind of knot or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
and it keeps reappearing in their life as a pattern in which they struggle, do you
Mm-hmm.
think there's a difference if one person, let's say, they do energetic work where they do a cut or they do some energy work there so that it clears up?
Mm-hmm.
Is that the same as the person actually embodying, going to the depth of the feelings, going almost transcending it or surrendering 100% to them, so
Mm-hmm.
they dissolve and they allow themselves to open to that capacity to go into it and to emerge again from that and to let it transform them?
Yeah, so I think energy work only can have its limits,
Mm.
especially for deep traumas,
Hmm.
because as you said, we are multidimensional, right? And I think that sometimes we really need to remove the trauma from the body itself. We need to create a new muscle memory
Hmm.
because it's always going to be here otherwise. And I really do believe in my belief system. I think that some traumas need to be seen as a multidimensional healing. So
Yeah.
energetically, also need the person needs to understand, you know, they need to understand the trauma, how it actually created the patterns. Like they need to make it very conscious
Yeah.
and also in the body as well. So yes, I do believe that for some traumas, it's very important to actually go through the body and to create new muscle memory, to like heal the body.
Yeah.
And for women as well, in warm de-armoring, I think some women really need that to actually clear and have healthy relationship to her womb, to them womb.
Hmm.
So I
Hmm.
think that energy work is amazing and can really help a lot of people to connect with themselves, to like try to create this connection and understand that they are actually working with different dimensions of themselves. But I really do believe as well that sometimes it's needed to go in the body, to really
Mhm.
work with the body. Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm. So, do you consider yourself like a spiritual person, one of the spiritual people?
Hmm. Of course, I think we all are. Just some people don't know they are spiritual people, but we all are spiritual people. And I definitely consider myself as a spiritual person.
So, what's like your favorite brand of shoes?
My favorite brand shoes. Actually, I don't have one.
Really?
No, I kind of okay. I love beauty. I love
Mm-hmm.
aesthetic. I think beauty it's very, very important. I'm a very big fan of trying to share beauty and give beauty and embody beauty. So let's say if I think a shoes is beautiful in the way it looks, in the way it was created, like the vibration the shoe carries is beautiful as well.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm gonna go for it no matter what the brand is. So I don't have any brand actually. It's more what is the beauty of these shoes is creating in me. Do I want to share this beauty? Yes, so I'm gonna take it and I'm gonna share
Nice,
it.
nice. So, if and when, if and when you decide to have children, how
Mhm.
will you raise them?
Mm. I definitely want to have children. And I've been a mom before I've been mom a lot of time. I really know how to do with kids. And I think I would love to raise them how like it would be more okay. I'm gonna try to like be precise and so we can understand me. I feel it will be kind of a challenge for me to see like with all the love and everything that I've learned, if I raise my children with all this love and being able to be in their full expression and have all the tools, how happy can they be? Like
Yeah.
I would actually be super curious, from one soul to another. Okay, I gave you all the keys. Your dad is a loving person. I really tried my best and I really tried to also work on myself raising you because kids are mirrors. So of course
Yeah.
I will not be an exception. I think it's hard sometimes.
Mm,
It's actually mirroring your own shadows and stuff. So I will definitely be aware of all that and I will try to do my best as a mom when I
mm,
will be one.
mm,
But I'm very curious to know, like, how is actually a kid growing in this type of environment, in a safe one, a loving one? How this kid will be, what type of human he or she will be, because it would obviously be a very different human from the one I was, because I was
yeah.
raised with parents that had a lot of shadows, a lot. And I cannot say I was a happy love like kid. Like I had a lot of things happening to me. So I would be very curious to know if you give all the chances to a kid with like all the love he or she needs and like yeah, how
Mm,
this kid will be. So there is also a big part of me that is very curious.
yeah. Mm. What's like the kindest thing you ever done?
Mm. I think I do it a lot, actually. The kind of thing I can do is to give love, pure love from a honest and true self. Like, really give all the love I can that is non-conditional, that is coming from a very pure state of being. I think that's the kindest thing I can do, really. And I'm trying to do it as much as I can.
Mm, okay. So we are at the end. Sophia, thank you so much for your time, for your
So,
energy, for your love.
thank you so much.
Mm, I really appreciate it.
Yeah, me too. It was a very, very beautiful time we had together. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. And I hope it was understandable because I didn't say at the beginning, but I'm French. And sometimes my English is like, oh.
It
Uh,
was very good. It was very good explained. I wasn't even thinking about it. It's really well.
Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you for having me. Thank you for what you do. Yeah, I felt very at ease actually in our exchange. So thank you for that. I felt very, very safe, and yeah, it was a beautiful experience for me with you.
Thank you. Um,
Oh,
how
there's a
do I
noise now on the back of me.
how do I end the recording? Ah, you are recording. You have to stop the recording.
Oh, how can I do that? Oh, yeah.